How's it going, racing fans? Welcome back to another F1 2019 preview and predictions video. This time for a rather special Grand Prix. Or is it? You see, the official F1 website and their social media platforms are all full of this, oh my god, this is the 1000th F1 race ever, spread the word, get them clicks in. Nope. Calm your nipples, people running the F1 web thingy. Just because I'm a bit of an anorak in F1 related topics, I'm here to tell you that that claim is 100% rubbish. You're welcome. As always, I'm Chip and here are the preview and predictions for the F1 2019 Chinese Grand Prix. But first things first, strap in for a bit of a history lesson. Massive thanks to the Pit Stops team, especially Burnt 1936, for their comprehensive articles. You see, Formula 1, just like any other series, designates a number of technical and sporting rules. Short history lesson. Back on the 21st of June 1946, the sporting committee of the newly reformed FIA got together to resurrect Grand Prix racing. Obviously, sports car racing was not that much of a priority between 1940 and 1945 due to the small matter of the Second World War. So, considering the devastation of Europe and the world, and the fact that motoring companies would not invest amazing amount of monies into developing, producing new performance machines, this committee came up with two sets of regulations for the Grand Prix seasons to come. The first one was more of a throwback to pre-Second World War racing. The cars had to have 4.5 liter naturally aspirated or 1.5 liter supercharged engines. The second set of regulations had very affordable costs, with the cars having to race with, at max, 2-liter naturally aspirated engines. These two categories were initially called Formula A and Formula B, but thanks to the 2 liters rule of the second category, everyone called that one Formula 2, and by extension, the premier class became known as Formula 1. And that's the moment the sport got its name and, well, effectively started. In November of 1946, the new set of rules was approved for the next seasons, up until 1953 in fact. There were 3 Grand Prix run by F1 regulations in 1946, 4 in 1947, 5 in 1948 and another 5 in 1949, until the birth of the F1 Championship, World Championship as we know it, in 1950. So straight out of the box, that's 17 races run by F1 rules before the World Championship even existed. But that's not all. You see, back in those days, only Ferrari, Maserati and Alfa Romeo were running Formula 1 spec cars. Every other entry was running Formula 2 cars. After Alfa pulled out of the sport at the end of the 1951 season, the FIA had to rethink its approach. Out went the Formula 1 regulations and everyone had to run with Formula 2 spec cars for both 1952 and 1953, until Mercedes joined the World Championship in 1954. So that makes 7 races in 1952 and 8 in 53 that are not effectively Formula 1 races. Finally, to get the full picture of just how many F1 races were held ever, we have to discount the 11 Indianapolis 500 races that were part of the World Championship between 1950 and 1960, but were run by American Automobile Association rules. In conclusion, after doing some maths, we've just had the 990th Formula 1 spec race. You're welcome! And come to think of it, it means that the actual 1000th F1 Grand Prix will take place this year in Hungary. So, hashtag Hungary F1000 or something? Okay, well, that was interesting, wasn't it? I'm a hoot at parties. You can tell, I guess. Back to this weekend's race. Shanghai International Circuit will host the third race of the F1 2019 Championship around its 5.4 kilometers layout. The GP will be disputed over 56 laps for a total racing distance of 305 kilometers. Over one lap, the drivers will have to negotiate 16 corners, 2 massive straights, and 1 long and very twisty section. Add to that the heavy braking zones at the end of the straights and, well, tires will be put through hell this weekend. With both the lateral forces and the tire stress in the red zone. Downforce levels required, although not negligible, are not that paramount. Mainly because the asphalt is very grippy. On the tires front, Pirelli nominated the C2, C3 and C4 compounds, which, for the first time this year, I'm completely fine with their selection. The soft will prove very fast over a very short period of time, thus the teams can then adopt either a one-stop strategy, 2 hards, or a 2-stopper. Juicy! Right, here are some things to look forward to for this weekend. And boy, after the ups and downs of Bahrain, there are certain drivers and teams that really need to deliver big time. Number 1, LeClerc and Ferrari. Yeah, let's get this one out of the way first. The season started quite badly for the red team. After their frankly underwhelming showing in Australia, the car let Charles down at the worst of times in Bahrain, and Vettel did a Vettel. This time, no excuses. I know it's a long season and, momentum can shift in an instant. But for the whole F1 community and the well-being of the season, in fact, Ferrari needs a strong showing in Shanghai. Number 2, Renault, sort out your issues. This is getting embarrassing. After such a strong showing in preseason testing, many fans, myself included, saw the yellows as the team to beat in the midfield. But 2 races in and no sir. Just 1 finish, actual finish, out of 4 is a horrible result for a factory team. And to add insult to the injury, the engines don't appear to be the issue this time. Because, McLaren, with the same power units, are not necessarily leading the midfield, but they are in close contention. Sort it out, Renault. F1 needs and deserves to have at least 4 major engine manufacturers fighting right at the top of the grid in the coming years. Number 3, more midfield goodness. Apart from Mr. Consistency Kimi Raikkonen, no other driver of Formula 1.5 had an eye-opening couple of races this season. Yes, okay, Norris was denied a solid result in Australia by both the team's strategy and the immovable object that was Antonio Giovinazzi. But other than him, no other driver really stands out in the midfield. I don't mind the unpredictability of it all, but I do also want to see drivers at the top of their game race by race. Number 4, DRS overtaking galore. Yes, this is China after all, home of bootleg games, cars, gadgets, coffee, and with those DRS enhanced straights, bootleg F1 overtakes. But please, I want nothing more than to see cars side by side for the entirety of that ginormous straight. And finally, number 5, a good show. I mean, come on, Liberty, FOM, if you insist on calling this the 1000th F1 race, at least make it seem special. Championship-wise, this race is not more important than Bahrain was a fortnight ago, or Azerbaijan will be in 2 weeks' time. I know it's Shanghai International Circuit, and the history of the place fades compared to places like Silverstone or Monaco or Monza, but please, make an effort. If not, I guess it's up to me. And all I can think of at this moment is a drinking game. On Sunday, take 1 sip for every pit stop, 2 sips for every overtake, and down your drink if Charles Leclerc wins the bloody thing. Revenge for last race. And finally, dear oh dear, this video is longer than those final 10 laps in Bahrain. Predictions. Taking pole for the Chinese GP, Charles Leclerc. And I guess you can see where this is going. Yes, Leclerc deserves to start his weekend in the best possible way. Beat both Mercs and his teammate to the P1 on the grid. Fastest lap, the Monegasque driver going all out for Leclerc here. P10, okay, I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was. Come the end of the race, from P10 to P5. Kvyat, Norris, Gasly, Ricciardo, finally, Raikkonen and Verstappen. Get used to that P5, matey boy. At least for a while. P4, Valtteri Bottas. P3, Sebastian Vettel. P2, Lewis Hamilton. And the winner... Yes, I know I'm terribly biased today, but it was genuinely painful when one of the cylinders of his car broke last time around. No one is going to give that win back to LeClerc. But hopefully a flawless weekend at this very next race will help alleviate the pain somewhat. So go get it, Charles. Yeah, we're just the best of mates. Shut up, Chip, shut up. And there you have it, my preview and predictions for the 2019 Chinese Grand Prix. Hopefully I haven't bored you to death, and yeah, you're still looking forward to it. Do you agree with my biasness, or would you rather have someone else taking top laurels on Sunday? Please make sure to let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you have any other F1 related question, fire away. I'll be more than happy to try and answer it for you. Drop a like if you think I've earned it, maybe even hit that subscribe button as well, and please make sure to share this video with a racing fan. Thanks so much for watching. I've been Chip. You can find me on Twitter at chip_DGS and on facebook.com/digitalgrandstand. For the 991st time, we're ready for a Formula 1 race. Cheers. Calm your nipples, people running the app. Massive thanks to Thus, the teams can then adopt That's a movie, I guess.